What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Crest of Courage card game channel. Today I wanted to share with you guys my take on the yellow vaccine deck, or in my case, I wanted to go with the actual Patamon line and kind of stick to the actual Patamon, Angemon, Magna Angemon, Seraphimon line. And to be honest, I think it works out pretty great. I actually just took third place at locals with this recently, so without further ado, let's get right to it. So starting off with the eggs, I am currently just playing 4 copies of Tokomon from BT15. Just simply has your turn. Once per turn, when a card is added to your security stack, draw 1. That happens a lot, to the point where I probably forget to draw 1 sometimes with how much I'm adding stuff to my security. So I definitely think this is like the egg to use. I would also suggest potentially running a 5th egg. I've thought about it. Sometimes I think maybe it could be useful, but I haven't really gotten to the point where I actually really needed the 5th egg yet. So it's not totally necessary, but we do have some effects with Angemon and one of our options that helps to, hatch us some more eggs. So you could cycle through your eggs a little bit quickly, and you might want to see the 5th one. But for now, just the 4 Tokomons is working for me. Alright, and for my 12 rookies, I am running all Patamons. So, of course, starting us off here, the BT14 Patamon is the must-play. 4 of this thing is just so good, because it has this awesome effect that at the start of your main phase, you can search your security stack, and this Digimon may Digivolve into a yellow Digimon card with the vaccine trait among them without paying the cost. Then shuffle your security stack. If digivolved by this effect, you may place a yellow card with the vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom of your security stack. And then it has the inheritable effect that when a card is added to your security stack, gain 1 memory. And the cool thing is that if you digivolve this into, say, Angemon, and then you use its effect to put a yellow vaccine card at the bottom of your security, this inheritable is going to see that you just added to your security, so you're going to immediately gain the memory. And then if you got the Tokomon under him, you're going to immediately draw a card. So just digivolving this and raising turn 1, pushing it out turn 2, hopefully seeing an Angemon in your security to digivolve into is just so much value. You get the free digivolve into the Angemon, gain a memory, and draw a card. And then, yeah, it's just really good. And then you're putting whatever yellow vaccine in your hand you want under your security. Definitely a 4 of. And for my Searcher Patamon, I am going with the EX3 Patamon. You could definitely go with the EX1 Patamon if you wanted to just keep a Searcher Patamon. There's not a whole lot of difference there, but this one does have on play reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 yellow card with Angel, Cherub, Throne, Authority, Seraph, or Virtue other than 3 Great Angels in one of its traits, and 1 card with 4 Great Dragons among them to your hand, and then bottom deck the rest. So the reason I went with this one is because it can also add a 4 Great Dragons, as well as all those other angel things. So it can pretty much get any of our Angemons, our Magna Angemons, and our Seraphimons. And if we see, I am playing a couple Goldramons, so if we see that also, it can potentially grab a 2nd card. That's really the only reason I'm playing this one over the EX1 version, which is just search the top 4 for like any angel. Honestly, it hasn't really come up yet that I've managed to hit both, but it could, so that's really the only reason there. And then I'm playing 1 copy of this awesome movie promo Patamon, and I'm only playing 1 of this because it's a very expensive card, and I've only managed to get lucky to pull 1, and if I had more, I'd probably play more, to be honest. But at the same time, it's not something you absolutely have to have. It's not like super crucial to our strategy or anything. It's just a pretty good card. It just has this cool effect that on play, you can search your security stack and add a yellow or black card with 2 or more colors to your hand, and if you added cards, you get to recovery 1 and then shuffle your security stack. So of course, searching security is really cool, and if you do take something, you get to recovery 1, and that can trigger a lot of your other effects that, trigger off of adding to your security stack. And then it also has the inheritable that your turn, all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 2k DP, so that's not too bad either. If you got him, use him. If not, it's fine. I'm just playing this other Patamon at 3 that has the inheritable effect that when an opponent's Digimon is deleted by having its DP reduced to 0, gain 1 memory. So we do have a lot of DP reduction in this deck, so occasionally gaining that extra memory from that is nice, especially because when we get to the level 6s, Seraphimon digivolves for 4, but he has a when digivolving effect that gives something minus 7k, so it can come up that if this is at the bottom of that stack when you digivolve into him, digivolving for 4 is a lot, but giving something -7 and potentially, you know, deleting it, then you get to gain that memory. It does occasionally help to keep turn, and that's pretty much the only reason he's here. So that's going to do it for all of my Patons. All right, moving on to my champions. The only card in the deck that is not part of the Patamon line, I'm just playing one of the Geogreymon, because it is limited to one anyway, so it is kind of just a nice one of to have. So of course it has the when digivolving effect to search your security stack, and you can play a red or yellow tamer card among them without paying the cost, and if you did, you can recovery 1. So again, you know, getting a free tamer from our security is great. Recovery triggers some of our effects. And yeah, then it had the inheritable effect that when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. That can come up sometimes as well. You know, clear out some little floodgate rookies or something. And then next up here, I've got just one copy of Pegasusmon. If you wanted to keep this 100%, you know, Patamon stuff, you could just cut the Geogreymon for a second Pegasusmon. I think that'd be totally fine. And this dude really came in clutch for me a few times already. So he has Digivolve for 2 on a Patamon, so you don't have to worry about the 3 cost. He's got Armor Purge, of course, to just delete the top card and save the Patamon underneath. And then when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack -1 until the end of your opponent's turn. I can't tell you how many times that simple security -1 has come up and saved my life to let me live to fight another turn. So yeah, that's pretty great. And then, of course, next up here, the main champion of the deck, one of the main cards of the whole deck, we have Angemon from BT14, the secret rare. Looks freaking beautiful. I do kind of want to get that alt art, but he does Digivolve for 2 on a Patamon, and has this crazy when attacking effect that by deleting this Digimon, you can activate one of these effects below. You can either place one of your opponent's Digimon with the virus trait at the bottom of their security stack, or one of your opponent's Digimon gets -5,000 DP for the turn. I've used both of those at times, and, you know, it's been helpful, because he also has on deletion, place this card at the bottom of your security stack. Then if you have a tamer, you may hatch in your breeding area. So this guy is awesome. You know, if you Digivolve him from your security stack onto Patamon, like I talked about earlier, then you're already gaining a ton of value off of that. You can just swing in, you know, delete himself to get rid of one of your opponent's biggest threats, potentially. Then just tuck him back under your security, hatch a new egg, and do it all over again. Or, you know, just attack with the 6K. You know, he's pretty strong for a champion. And he also has a good inheritable effect that on deletion, you may place a yellow card with vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom of your security stack. So again, basically like a pseudo recovery effect. If whatever stack he's in gets deleted, you get to, you know, load up your security some more. It's pretty crazy. And last but not least here, I'm also playing 4 copies of the BT8 Angemon, and I absolutely love this alt art. This is super nice. I highly recommend picking this one up. It's only like 50 cents. But regardless, it has the your turn effect that when this Digimon would Digivolve, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recovery 1. So to be honest, this one kind of confused me for a little while. I always think this is like a when Digivolving effect. He has to be the one Digivolving, so when this Digimon would Digivolve, so when you Digivolve him into Magna Angemon or whatever, then if you have 3 or fewer security, you get to recovery 1. I have had it come up at times where I have 3 security, I have this guy out, I Digivolve him to Magna Angemon. When he would Digivolve, I recovery 1. You know, when Magna Angemon comes out, the Ace version, he recoveries 1, so I go right back up to 5, and then of course he also gives something -5k, so it's pretty nuts. And then this thing also has, when attacking, if you have 3 or more security cards, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. So again, really nice for clearing out those pesky rookies and stuff. But that about does it for the champions. And moving right along to our level 5 ultimates here, of course I am just playing 4 copies of the Magna Angemon Ace from BT14. This dude is nuts. Of course, has the hand counter blast Digivolve effect to Digivolve on your opponent's turn, and that can really save you because he has on play or when Digivolving, if you have 5 or fewer security cards, recovery 1 deck. Then, for the turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -1000 DP for each card in your security stack. So one cool thing about that is sometimes you will find yourself having 6 or 7 security on your opponent's turn, and they're swinging a bunch of checks at you, and you know, you got an Angemon or something sitting there. So you kind of want to wait until you are at 5 security, let them check 1 or 2, and once you're at 5, then go in for the ace, because for one, they probably won't expect it at that point anyway, and then you'll actually get the recovery and, you know, minus 6k on something, probably stopping one of their attacks altogether as well. So it can really catch your opponent by surprise if you wait till you're at the 5th security. So you get the recovery too is really good. And that's the very specific niche situation where, you know, their Digimon is like 7k, and only if you ace right off the bat will you actually delete it, you know, that too. But yeah, just this guy has so many uses. You know, hard play him for 4 to get a recovery and minus, you know, 5 or 6k on something is absolutely crazy. Yeah, this guy is just too good. Definite 4 of for sure. And then I'm also playing 3 copies of the EX1 Magna Angemon. He has when attacking, if you have 3 or more security cards, this Digimon gets plus 4,000 DP till the end of your opponent's turn. So that can really come in handy to, you know, help clear out a security check, because he's like 11k at that point, and actually survive your opponent's turn because it stays till the end of their turn. Is really nice. And then it has the inheritable that when a card is added to your security stack, gain 1 memory. Again, just like I was talking about with the Patons earlier, when we digivolve this thing into our Seraphimon, that 4 digivolution cost for Seraphimon is kind of a lot, but he has, when digivolving, recovery. If this guy's under him, you'll immediately get to gain that memory back, again, putting it at like a 3-cost digivolution or a 2-cost digivolution, potentially, if you got that Patamon's effect off as well. So yeah, I like this one a lot. I think it's like 2nd best Magna Angemon for the deck. You could also run the old like BT1 Angemon, I think it was. You know, it has the like 6 or 7 play cost, just on play, recovery 1. That one's not bad either. I honestly thought about using a couple of those in here, but it just doesn't quite fit the play style that I was going for with this deck, but you could try them out. It might work for you. Last but not least, I am playing just a single copy of Shakumon. He DNAs on a yellow and a blue level 4. So you may have noticed our 4 Angemons and our 1 Pegasusmon that are yellow-blue can count as the blue, and then you can use any of them for the yellow. To be honest, this guy doesn't come up for me a whole lot. You know, if you really wanted to do like 2-2 split of these guys, you might pull off the DNA more, but he has won me games. I can't lie that he has definitely come from out of nowhere and, you know, got that last attack in to win me a game a couple times. So he is definitely useful for sure. He also has when digivolving, if you have 5 or fewer security cards, recovery 1. Then if DNA digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon whose level is less than or equal to the number of cards in your security stack to its owner's hand. And then it's awesome when attacking inheritable effect that one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. That can be really good as well to clear out some stuff. But yeah, that's about it for my ultimates. All right, so on to my level 6s here. Of course, I've talked about them enough already, but we're playing 3 copies of Seraphimon from BT15, who, like I said, digivolves for 4 on a yellow. Kind of expensive, but we've talked about how we can make that cheaper earlier. When digivolving, recovery 1. Gotta love it. All turns, once per turn, when a card is added to your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 7,000 DP, and this Digimon gains security attack plus 1 for the turn. So as soon as you digivolve this guy, you're going to get that recovery, and then that's going to trigger his other effect to give something minus 7k and give him security attack plus 1. So you can immediately swing in with 2 checks for 12k. And, you know, you just probably deleted something with the minus 7. So he's really strong, definitely the one you want to be seeing the most. But I am also, like I talked about earlier, playing 2 copies of Goldramon, who is our 4 Great Dragons. So there's only a couple of him in here, but like I said, sometimes it can come up where you can grab this dude and one of your other cards with our Patamon. But on play or when digivolving, he gets to play out 2 tokens, one that has Rush and one that has Blocker, both that are 6k DP. So, you know, it's really great to immediately get another attacker with the Rush token and then also have a blocker sitting there to help protect you on your turn. Very strong in my opinion. And all turns, when this Digimon would digivolve or leave the battle area, delete all of your tokens that this guy generated, and if this effect deletes something, recovery 1 deck. So again, that can be helpful if he gets deleted. You know, if you hit a bad security check and he gets wiped out or something like that, then you get to recovery 1 as long as you had some tokens left over to delete. Not too shabby. And then last but not least, for the level 6s, I am playing 1 Shadow Seraphimon. Reason being is because he's a virus. If he was Vaccine, I would probably just play, honestly, like 2 or 3 of him, probably cut Goldramon altogether at that point, just play Seraphimon and him, because this dude is so good. He Digivolves for 1 on Seraphimon, and on opponent's turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, you can de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. So that saved me a few times, you know, just making them de-Digivolve themselves, get super weak, and then you can just attack over them, or, you know, minus K DP to get rid of them with some other Digimon. So yeah, really strong effect there. Or it just prevents them from wanting to attack you at all until they deal with him, because they just don't want to get de-Digivolved. But then he also has, on deletion, Recovery 1 deck. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4 KDP for the turn for each card in your security stack. So if they do end up dealing with him, so they don't get de-Digivolved, you're going to get to Recovery 1 and then give them minus 4K for every security. Even if you only have, say, 3 security cards, that's going to be minus 12K on something. You're definitely deleting something with that. So he's a force to be reckoned with. You know, if you can get him out, your opponent's very hesitant to attack you, and they're very hesitant to even try to delete him. So yeah, the only thing stopping me from playing more of this guy is the fact that he's a virus, so we cannot, you know, tuck him under our security with some of our other effects and stuff like that. But that's going to do it for the level 6s. All right, and moving along to our Tamers, of course, playing 4 copies of the BT14 TK, who has on play, by returning the top card of your security stack to your hand, you may place 1 yellow card with a vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom of your security stack, and then your turn, when a card is added to your security stack, by suspending this Tamer, gain 1 memory. So this guy is great. Just play him for 3 and add something to your hand. So it's so good to just play this guy for 3, add the top card of security to your hand, and then just place a yellow vaccine at the bottom of your security, immediately trigger his own effect, suspend him, gain a memory. He's pretty much a 2-cost Tamer, honestly, because of that. So yeah, playing 4 of him is pretty much a must. I wouldn't play any less than 3 of him, in my opinion. Moving on, next, we have 2 copies of TK from BT1. Actually, this one's from RB1, but whatever. So, of course, he's just our memory setter and has this awesome on-play effect that you can search your security stack, reveal 1 card among it, and add it to your hand. If it's a yellow card, Recovery 1, then shuffle your security stack. So, you know, again, just searching our security for stuff is always good, and then Recovery will trigger some of our other effects. Plus, you need a memory setter sometimes, so that's always nice to have. And last but not least for our Tamers, we have the new promo TK from the movie, who is really, really great for this deck. He has start of your main phase. If you have more security cards than your opponent, gain 1 memory. You usually do, so that can gain you a memory pretty consistently. It does suck, however, once you start losing, and if they do get up on you and you just can't recover enough, then he's just sitting there not really doing much. But on play, you can activate one of these effects. You can either play a Patamon from your hand without paying the cost, or one of your Digimon may Digivolve into Angemon in your hand without paying the cost. Really great, in my opinion, especially since we have so many Patamons and Angemons. It works out well, especially for like the 3-cost Digivolution, which is one of the downsides I meant to talk about with the BT8 Angemon. He does just Digivolve for 3. He doesn't have any type of Digivolve for 2 on a Patamon effect or anything, so that kind of sucks. But that's a great reason to use him, because you're already paying 3 to play him. You might as well get a free Digivolve as well. Or you could also get a free Patamon to search or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Tamers. Last but not least, to my option cards, I'm just playing 3 copies of Physical Training. So it pretty much goes without saying how good the training cards are, but yeah, just 2 costs to play it. Search the top 2 for any yellow card, add it to your hand, bottom deck the other one, and then the main delay effect to be able to Digivolve into a yellow card for -2 the cost is really, really good. Especially, like I've said, you know, there's a few high-cost Digivolutions in here, so it does really help out with that a lot. And, of course, we also have this guy right here, Emissary of Hope. That this is such a good option card for only 1 cost. You can search your security stack, and one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a yellow level 6 or lower Digimon card with the vaccine trait among them without paying the cost. Then shuffle your security stack. if digivolved by this effect, and you have a Tamer with TK in its name, recovery 1. So super good. You basically get a 1-cost Digivolution to digivolve out of security, and as long as you got one of your TKs out, you get to recover 1 back. Also has a security effect that you can play a Patamon from your hand or trash without paying the cost, and then add this card to your hand. So that's pretty great. So of course, next time you can play that on the Patamon to digivolve it to Angemon for free or whatever. Maybe it's the BT15 Patamon that you played out with its effect. So it can digivolve itself into something from your security, and then you can play this also, and you can get all the way up to freaking level 5 off of 1 memory. That's pretty nuts too. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the options. I will say, however, if there's one thing I would like to add, I would probably try to find room for some type of removal option. That's the only thing I feel like I was kind of lacking at times, but not too bad. I do have a lot of DP reduction from Magna Angemon Ace and Seraphimon, so it's not too horrible, but I would just put it out there as an option that you might want to look into, maybe cutting this down to 2, or, you know, maybe cutting one of the TKs or something like that, and playing some other option that has like a mass, you know, DP reduction effect. There's a lot of good ones right now, like what is it, Heaven's Judgment, and some other stuff. So that is one thing I've considered, but it hasn't really been too necessary just yet. So yeah, that's about it for the options. All right, guys, so that's about it for this deck profile. If you're a fan of Patamon or Angemon or Seraphimon, the whole line, whatever, I'd highly recommend checking this deck out. It's been super fun for me personally. I've had a lot of fun playing it, so I would recommend trying it out. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. It does help me out a lot. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. But that's going to do it for this one, you guys. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.